Every new year comes with much to be celebrated and looked forward to. Usually, we start it off with feasting, making resolutions, and set goals to achieve.
But you can only enjoy your feast, keep your resolutions, and set your targets when you're alive and well. So today on the show, our starting point with you this year is on your need for safety and caution on Lagos roads as we embark on the adventure of 2015 together.
I am Obafemi Craig.
I am Kate Harmony. First, we take the news update.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the news update on LAMATA FR. The rehabilitation of Akin-Adesola Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, commenced Monday, 12th January 2015, according to a statement by the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA. The road is being rehabilitated by the Lagos State Government through LAMATA to tackle the perennial flooding usually experienced as a result of blocked and dysfunctional drainage system. The rehabilitation work will be carried out by Messrs High-Tech Construction Company Limited, which was selected following an international competitive bidding process. LAMATA had, at a stakeholder meeting held in October 2014, informed the Victoria Island and Ikoyi Residents Association, VIRA, and businesses of the decision of the state government to rehabilitate the road with a view to completely solving once and for all the challenge posed by the flooding.
If you look at the road, a lot of us would think the road is okay, or we believe the road is okay. But when it rains, we virtually don't have a road. If we can get the road flooding problem resolved, it will also help the residents around Karemu, Kotun, and the rest of them. Many people don't even know that at a point on that road, on Akin-Adesola, is the lowest point in Lagos as far as the land point is. That's when you get closer to the Falomo Bridge, I believe. And what then you have is, with the advent of so many surges all over the world and flooding, we are getting to a point of discharging with difficulty water into the lagoon. It's just to assure you that whatever your concerns are, regardless of how serious or how little they are, to us, we will take them to be very, very serious.
Both VIRA and representatives of businesses expressed delight at the government plan and pledged support for the rehabilitation work.
The concern of the resident is stormwater, flooding, and all of that. And the statement made by the LAMATA that apart from the project itself, some canals are going to be cleaned. That is very reassuring, but we are going to necessarily follow up to make sure that these commitments, are fulfilled.
The rehabilitation work being funded by the World Bank and the Lagos State Government and expected to last 12 months entails reconstruction of the existing drainage system, the road pavement, and introduction of street furniture for the road to function efficiently. The Managing Director of LAMATA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, in a statement, assured that the authority will ensure the rehabilitation work on Akin-Adesola Street will be carried out in a way that disruption to businesses will be minimal.
We acknowledge the importance of Akin-Adesola. It's a major trunk road for Victoria Island, for Lagos Island, for Lagos State. So you need to bring business interruption to the barest minimum. What we now need is the cooperation of the people, and we are sure, with the assurance of this consultative forum today, that we'll be able to get. And once we get all of that, the road will be built within the 12 months as we agree.
He said the authority, working with other government agencies and stakeholders, will ensure that the traffic management plan will be fully implemented to mitigate traffic congestion the reconstruction works might cause. He also assured that enough diversion signs will be put in place by the contractor to guide road users during the rehabilitation. He further appealed that any complaint on the project should be channeled through its consultant on the project, who will always be on site.
I know construction everywhere in the world is so disturbing, but you will have to bear with us. With if you have any problems, perhaps you have discussed with the contractor or our consultant and is not listening to you, please feel free. We have a free number we will give you. Feel free to call LAMATA. We will come to your aid.
LAMATA pleaded with residents, businesses and other road users to bear with it during the reconstruction work. And that ends the news update.
Basically, what LAMATA does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
LAMATA, think transport.
It's a sad truth to know that no matter how well planned a town, city or state, road crashes happen every day.
Indeed.
And sometimes lives are lost, limbs are broken, and either way, it's never happy news.
Already, a number of road crashes have been recorded on Lagos roads this new year.
Yeah.
And sadly, some happened on the newly widened Mile 12 to Ikorodu BRT extension project corridor. Although LAMATA has risen to the challenge of keeping people safe while keeping Lagos moving.
Very important.
But success is only possible through the cooperation of you, the road users.
Come with us as we join the Deputy Director Safety, LAMATA, Olajide Oduyoye, on the move along the Mile 12 to Ikorodu Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension Project for safety regulations and lessons to keep to heart as we use the newly expanded Mile 12 to Ikorodu BRT Extension and other roads in Lagos this year.
The Mile 12 to Ikorodu Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension Project is laudable and nearing completion. Very soon, contractors will move out and operations will begin fully. But there is a growing concern as to the safety, the cautions, the precautions you should take as a road user. We have a safety expert. He is the Deputy Director Safety, LAMATA, Olajide Oduyoye. He will be taking us through that.
Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges, new roads.
Okay, so I need to know, is there a speed limit on this road?
Well, most certainly, any road that is built would always have applicable speed limit. The maximum speed limit on any section, not on any section, in some sections of this road is 80 kilometers per hour. In certain areas where it's built up, like in the first section where we have Owodonire from Mile 12, or towards the Ikorodu town roundabout, where there are a lot of activities going on there, the speed limit definitely is not above 50, okay? And so it's very important that once the road is completed and all the applicable signs are there, it will show what areas where you're able to do up to 80 or where you do up to 60. The important thing that our viewers must note is that on no occasion should we have any reason to violate the speed limit, maximum speed limit. Now, as you can see, we're on the road. The speed approach of vehicles is just so terrible, it's so high, it is so scary. And the point that I would like to make is that this road has been built for comfort. This road has never, ever been intended to be built as a racing track. Sometimes a lot of our drivers don't understand the benefit of speeding or the disbenefit of it. Even if you speed so high from this area and you think you're trying to show off with your car or you're trying to gain time, by the time you get to mile 12, assuming you're going towards Lagos, you're going to be stuck in activities there anyway. If you're coming from the opposite side and you're going towards Ikorodu, you're going to be stuck at a traffic junction or towards Ikorodu. So every driver on this road should ask themselves, what is the real benefit of this speed that I'm doing that even makes everything so dangerous? And it is important that even we get FRSC to be involved on what happens on this road by the time it's open for full use when the BRT starts. In the sense that they need to procure all the gadgets that they need to ensure that the speed limit is not violated on a regular basis, because I can only see that being a big problem in terms of casualty rates, in terms of fatality rates. I can just see that happening, and we really need to be careful.
Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges.
So is there any plan to install speed breakers to curb excessive speeding?
No, not at the moment, in the sense that this is a freeway. Fine, it's a developed area, it's in a metropolitan area, there are lots of communities around and stuff like that. However, it's a long stretch, and it would affect traffic flow and movement by the time you're not putting speed breakers all over the place. It's not the fact that one is ruling it out, because if you go to other cities like Dubai or even in South Africa, there are similar highways where they have speed breakers. But I'm not advocating that that is what we should do here, because at the end of the day, speed breakers also have its own negative aspect of it. But if the government or LAMATA is forced to do that because of the high casualties or high fatalities or accidents or crashes on the road, then it may be something that we will consider. But right now, a speed breaker is not part of the design. Where you will find what is similar to a speed breaker are the speed tables that we're trying to put in all those areas where there are schools to enable crossing where a pedestrian bridge has not been built.
Okay, now we need to talk about other aspects of safety, and we're not going to do it here. We'll have to take a walk to another junction.
Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges, new roads, mega city, yeah. Lagos, my home. Lagos, my home. Lagos, my home. Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best, for the best.
Okay, this is Jumafak bus stop in Ikorodu, and we're still discussing the need for you to stay safe while using the road. We still have Olajide Oduyoye, Deputy Director, Safety, LAMATA, and he'll be telling us more on the need for you to stay alive. So we know that we have about 6 pedestrian bridges on this axis, and I'm wondering, how safe is it for pedestrians to cross at sections where there are no pedestrian bridges?
Well, I can say to you that, yes, you've confirmed about the 6 bridges, and the issue of safe crossing on all sections of the road is something that we should all be concerned about. Now, we also know for the length of this road, it's not possible to really put pedestrian bridges in every 5 meters of the road. That's just not possible. And the way our people generally behave is that they just want to cross at a point that is most convenient for them. Not that we blame them, but it's just not a practical solution to that. So what LAMATA and the government is doing is identified areas along the corridor where pedestrian bridges are not yet in place. And the reason why they may not yet be in place is because we need to monitor what is on ground. We need to monitor how many people will need to cross in a particular area. And I'll give you an example. There are plans to put speed breakers and speed tables along the corridor. Why was that done? Is because we identified there are 3 schools in those areas and even the business opportunity around Owode. So there's one around Owode Oniri, there's Owutu area, there's Ajegunle, and there's Itowolo. Those 4 areas would have speed tables. What is a speed table? It's like a big hump, a big arm that is wide enough to take about a 5-meter pedestrian zebra crossing. Now those areas would have mechanism to slow traffic down. so that school children, when they're going to school or coming from school, they're able to cross safely. Now there's pass around. So you combine those planned for that we're going to do, you add it to the 6 bridges, and then you have enough crossing. Enough is relative in the sense that as the road becomes highly used, as people are moving towards the communities around this area, there more than likely will be a demand for more crossing. And that's the point where the authorities will look at what is the demand likely to be and where more appropriate that we need to put more crossing facilities across. It is not limited to just the bridges, it's not limited to just the speed tables. There's a possibility that even signalized pedestrian crossing facilities could be created. It's an ongoing thing. The safety of the people that use the road is very important, is very paramount, and we are conditioned and established ourselves that whether we like it or not, we must ensure that all road users are safe, especially in crossing a busy 6-lane road, including buses.
Now, you said something that you want to ensure that all road users are safe. But then I think it's important for us to sensitize the road users themselves. How can they ensure their personal safety? Because that's very important. As much as the government is looking out for them by building roads and making sure that the roads are okay and safe, how should a pedestrian watch out for his or her own safety?
Well, Kate, thank you for that. And you would recollect that in past programs like this, we've talked about how concerned we are, how concerned LAMATA is, and how concerned the state government is onto the safety of road users, especially when it comes to crossing the road. Now, we've expanded an existing 4-lane road into 6. Now, we can only assume that the first rule is every individual should take their own personal safety as an important thing. Right? Because it is not possible for any arm of government anywhere in the world to go and hold everybody's arm to say, you cross safely. So the issue of enlightening people, the issue of educating people is too great, is too paramount that we need to do our bit. But for those listeners that are listening to this program, watching this program, they must know, where does safety start from? It starts from you. Now, if you're not sure of the approach of a speeding vehicle, don't take the risk. How many seconds will it take you to wait for that speeding vehicle to go through before you decide to cross the road? Don't take chances. Don't assume that if you run, that it makes sense. No, it doesn't. Because sometimes it is difficult to judge speeding vehicles. Sometimes it is difficult to judge what you're wearing. Sometimes it's difficult to judge whether someone is doing the right thing. Because on a one-way movement like this, naturally, if I want to go across this way, I'll probably be looking to my left-hand side. Now, as we've noticed, what if an Okada rider decides that he wants to violate the traffic rule and is coming from my right? Am I supposed to just assume that everything is okay and then I cross and the Okada hits me? Because I tell you, the speed of the Okada, if it touches you, trust me, something bad would happen to you. So we've got to take it very carefully. We've got to educate our people, and this is just one of the many things that we need to do. We're going to go into garages, we're going to talk to the public transport road users, we're going to talk to the drivers. We're just going to do everything possible so that no one can say that LAMATA has not been responsible in sharing what we need to do naturally.
Okay, we're still talking about pedestrian bridges and places, sections where we don't have the bridges. Is there any plan to have traffic lights at those sections to give pedestrians crossing priority?
Well, I say part of the design and part of the construction that's going on is that there are 5 main areas or junctions, so to speak, where they're going to be signalized. And all those areas will start from Obasekomade Road, then there's a Greek Junction, then there's the exit from the BRT terminal, and then there's the entry into the BRT terminal and also Ikorodu roundabout. Now, these are areas where it's very highly populated and areas where traffic movement and pedestrian movement are very high as well. And so by the time the signalized process is put in place, pedestrians would have safe access to cross at those junctions. Now, we talked about the other areas where we have the bridges and everything, but you can only incorporate pedestrian crossing facility with normal traffic signalization for other traffic movement as well. So that is definitely in place.
Thank you so much. Do you have any other thing you would like to say to our road users, the drivers? Of course, you must have had an experience coming to this place. I'm very sure of that. So do you have anything you need to say to our road users?
I just want to say to our road users, as usual, we shouldn't get too overexcited that the road is now smooth. That was the purpose. The purpose of a smooth road is to reduce the cost of transportation, to reduce the cost of repairing our vehicles, and for people to even have a feeling that the government is responsible. Lagos State is responsible to make people even more convenient as they're traveling. Now, why is it doing that? Why do we need to spoil it by overspeeding? Why do we need to spoil it by overtaking where we shouldn't overtake? Why do we need to spoil all these good things that will bring tears into families' lives because we're being careless and we're being carefree and we just don't obey simple traffic laws? So I am urging our viewers, I am urging you, this is a new year. It's a new year for new beginnings, for new things. As we're enjoying this road, let it just be enjoyment of joy from inside of us, not one that will bring tears to anybody. Which means as you're using the road, caution those that are driving you, assuming you're not the one driving. If anyone is doing something that is not akin to a safety measure, tell them to slow down. Tell them to behave themselves, right? Because they're not the only ones using the road. There are children crossing the road all the time. There are elderly people crossing the road all the time. There are pregnant women crossing the road all the time. Do we want to knock them down and reduce their lifespan? No. Let us enjoy this road because that is the whole purpose of building it in the first place.
That's very right, you know. So we have heard from Olajide Oduyoye, Deputy Director Safety, LAMATA. It's all about you staying alive. It's all about you knowing how best to use this road. Safety begins with you. So the Lagos State government, through LAMATA, is pleading with everyone, all the road users, the drivers, the pedestrians, the cyclists, anybody, as far as you're using this road, take caution because you need to stay alive. I am Kate Harmony.
Lagos is becoming a mega city.
As you move about the city, remember that safety is not by chance. It is the result of carefully applying the safety tips you have had and abiding by safety laws as a driver, passenger, or pedestrian. Don't go away. We'll be back.
We know say as Lagos State government and LAMATA they work on top our road, it dey very, very important. Make we follow as law take talk on top safety matter. Back for my 12 to Ikorodu BRT extension project. Make we no take our life play. Make we dey careful, drive softly, and obey wetin law don put for ground.
A ti mọ̀ pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti iléeṣẹ́ LAMATA ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí àwọn ọ̀nà wa lọ́wọ́. Ó wá ṣe pàtàkì fún wa láti káràmásìkì ọ̀rọ̀ ìdáàbòbò tí wọ́n ń bá wa sọ. Pàtàkì lórí ètò ọ̀nà BRT láti mile 12 lọ sí Ikorodu. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká fi ẹ̀mí wa ṣeré o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ kí a sì máa fi pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ wa ọkọ̀ ní ojú ọ̀nà kí a sì tún máa pa òfin tí ó wà ní ilẹ̀ mọ́.
We have been discussing the need for safety on Lagos roads in 2015. Is there a question we didn't ask or a matter we didn't address? Feel free and speak. LAMATA's only resolution this year is to serve you better than we ever have. Our lines are always open to you.
It's been a wonderful ride with you on this episode, and nothing warms my heart more than knowing that you'll be with us from the start of the year till its closing moments, safe, sound, and secure.
So as we set out with a great new year, I leave you with the words of Melody Beatty. The new year stands before us like a chapter in book waiting to be written, so you can help write a great story by setting goals. Ours at LAMATA is to break our record in serving you excellently. Till next week, same time and same station.
LAMATA.
Think Transport.
Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail.